So, apparently one of these sold for, wait for it, I paid £499 for mine, as you know. One sold this week, which was apparently sealed, everything inside it bagged, for just over £1,400. Absolutely mental. I can only assume theirs didn't have a mounted keyboard. Hey, and thank you for clicking play. What a day. Yep, an A500 Batman pack sold for £1,460 or whatever it is. Absolutely insane. I find that quite interesting. While I'm on that topic, I mean, I'm not sure if that's really indicative of the actual values at the moment, but a really good channel if you're interested in that kind of thing, especially on the value of things in Australia specifically, for those of you watching in Australia, is, I think his channel is called OzRetroComp. I'll put a link in the description, but a fantastic channel, guy over east. It's just sort of analysing what things sell for in Australia specifically, which is really helpful. A fairly untidy A500 just by itself, no power pack, no RF modulator, no software, no box, no books, nothing, absolutely nothing, and only partially tested, only tested to the Kickstart screen, sold in Australia only recently for, I think it was around $350. Absolutely crazy. So do keep an eye on those things. Hit OzRetroComp and check out his channel because it's really good stuff when he does his sort of financial reports. So, is my Batman pack worth that? I don't think so, because I attacked it with a pair of scissors. So, there we go. But, however, today, and I wasn't going to feature this today because it literally only arrived about half an hour ago. A guy called Vance from the Perth Amiga users group dropped this off for me today, and I am so grateful. And look what it's got. Can you see that? Can you see that? Dual membrane. It's a dual membrane. So the keys are yellowed. He gave this to me for free. So my plan is I will plug this in. This isn't today's video. I just wanted to thank him, but I will be plugging this in and doing a complete key test to make sure it is 100% okay. And then the way I figure it, I don't even need to unplug the membrane. What I can do is I can take the back off and I can remove the back panel, including the PCB, separate it from this front, because this is not in as good condition as my one, and I can just do a direct swap with my one. So basically lay that membrane, the PCB and this back chassis onto my keyboard, and then hopefully that will solve a great many things, because I can replace remember I've got a pen spring in this key, so I can replace that spring with the spring out of this one, so that's great. And it means hopefully it'll get rid of that keyboard caps lock light error that I was getting as well, and I'll, in theory, if I can pull that off without having to tinker with these ribbons, because we know what happens when I do that, I'll have a fully operational keyboard. So I will do a video on that. Thank you so much, Vance, for giving me that. My wife's been getting in on the act, and she also got me from her work. They're throwing out a box of floppy disks. Guess who got their hands on those? So, and that's not even all of them. There was a heap of others as well. So I've been formatting those. What are we doing today? Well, look, let me share with you what we've put together. I remember I said right at the beginning it would be quite interesting to set myself a pocket money budget, so that as part of the nostalgia trip you get that excitement of, do I buy this game or do I save up for that new console? And basically putting a pocket money level budget around this experience, I think that'd be quite cool. The budget isn't massive. So what you're looking at is, this is just a Google Sheets file, and my wife has visibility of it at all times. My budget is basically $50 a week. So I think this is sensible. I'd like it to be more, but it isn't. And I'll show you some magic with this spreadsheet in a minute. So budget's $50 a week, and I put some automation in here. So the dates are automated. That's then feeding through to, it's picking up what today is, and then from that it's calculating the week commencing that we're currently in. And that becomes important because then it's matching in the week commencing that we're currently in, what is my current budget. And within that budget, and I will tinker with the figures that generate this list here, it's basically giving me an indication of what I could potentially spend that money on. So $50 in, you can see $30 went out last week. That's because I bought those video pack games. So that's where that $30 went, which was a bargain. And, oh no, wait a minute. No, it was $20 for the game and $10 for the entry to the Perth Amiga users group. That's what that was. So that's just all bundled in. If I happen to sell something, then obviously that becomes additional money in. And that will affect the totals. So it's all self-running, self-generating, even this list here. So, you know, when I've saved up about $115, I'd be pushing it, but maybe there's a bargain of an Electron, not including postage from the UK. Shh. Don't know how I'll get that one out. But anyway, and then, you know, you get up and you've got Spectrum Plus 3, Jaguar, and these are just loose. So at the end of the day, the idea why I did that is because then I've got visibility. Well, yes, I could buy those games that I've got in my wish list on eBay today, but guess what? If I just wait another week, well, I could then potentially buy an Electron. If I just wait another 3 weeks, well, guess what? I could potentially start looking at some Spectrum Plus 3s. Now, my wife is very understanding, and I did say the thing is, sometimes something comes up and you just have to jump on it because, you know, it's all old gear, it's second-hand gear, and we all understand how that works. So there is a bit of understanding in, and that's why the spreadsheet will do something like this. Let's just say a bargain Spectrum Plus 3 comes up this week. And so actually my spending is suddenly, oh, I can't click there because that's not the actual spreadsheet, that's OBS. Suddenly my that $5 was a pie, by the way. But let's say suddenly this becomes $200 that I've spent, and I don't have $200 because I've only got $65 there. What happens? Lots of things go red. The idea of that is, it tells me in these weeks, guess what, buddy? You can't buy anything, and then it shows me when I'm going to be back in the black. So yeah, that's how that works. So from there, let's just correct that spreadsheet, otherwise I'll be in trouble with the wife. A Spectrum Plus 3 did come up, by the way, mint in box in its wrapper, so similar to that Batman pack that went, and it was a reasonable price. It was a opening bid of, I think it was £250. It looked like there was a sniping war between two people at the last minute, and it went for just over that, just over £250. That is a bargain. I didn't bid on it because A, it was ending in the middle of the night because obviously it's in the UK, and B, I knew I didn't have the pocket money available right now. You're going to love this story. What happened was, the next day woke up, saw that it had gone, okay, you know, that's, of course somebody's going to buy it, of course they would. And that day I did my tax return. So to me that value is around, let's call it, you know, just over $400, not including postage. And I did my tax return and I'm getting back from the tax office $350. So actually I was spewing I didn't jump on that Plus 3 because that was, it was a brand new inbox and it was the exact pack I had as a kid as well. The one with Yi Ya Kung Fu, Short Circuit, Great Escape and a few other games. You know the one I mean. But I think there's about 6 games in the pack with the Cheetah 125 still in its box as well. Damn it. Anyway, no regrets. So that's that. Let's have a look. And there's a bit of a clue here. What I want to share with you now today so that we can basically put some context into the things that I talk about and where we're going to go going forwards as I start to collect these things. I want to create another sheet. And this sheet is going to be the systems that I'm chasing. Systems, and we go repurchased. And I'm going to put a column in here for is it working? The one that I've repurchased, if I've repurchased one. Okay, that seems sensible to me. I might even put a price, I put in here for the price that I paid for it. What do you reckon? There we go. That's probably dangerous, but at least I can then keep a tally. And I want to put these in chronological order of when I owned them. So this is me sharing something I've been wanting to share with you guys for ages, is what are the systems that I owned, and as part of that, what are the systems that I'm looking for. Systems that are those bold? I want those to be bold. They are now. Okay. Okay, very first system we owned as a family. First system that I owned, or that our family owned, was the Video Pack. Video Pack G7000. Have I repurchased it? Yes, I have. Is it working? Well, I haven't shown you guys a video on that yet, so I'm not going to tell you because that'll spoil that. And the price was $70. These are all Australian dollars. Of course, the best dollars. After we had the Video Pack, the next system that we got as a family, but really became mine, just like the Video Pack, was an Acorn Electron. And I'm not going to tell you stories about these today. There are stories behind each one as to how I got them, or how we got them, but those are for those. I'll save those for when I've got them in my hand and I'm making a video on these units. So I haven't repurchased that yet, so that stays blank. Don't know if it's working, and I don't know what the price is, so there we go. The next system after the Acorn Electron was the Spectrum Plus 3. So again, haven't purchased it, so can't fill anything else out. So what does that say? What does that say? Sorry, I'll try and look at this screen. Spectrum. That's better. I don't know what the hell I was doing there. Right, okay. Spectrum Plus 3, that's that. After the Spectrum Plus 3 was the beloved Amiga A500. Is saying Amiga A500 like saying Amiga twice? I think it is. Really, it's an A500, which is Amiga 500. But anyway, we'll put it in as that. Repurchased, yes we have. Is it working? For the most part, yes it is. Price, ooh, ouch. Well, in dollars, oh, that was about, at the time, that one hurt a little bit. But in my mind, it was worth every cent. So there we go. Okay, so Amiga 500 is done. Then I had, after that, I had my first PC, which was an Amstrad. And this will be a weird one. If I do manage to recollect it, I'm not really fussed. Do you know what? I'm not going to put the... I had an Amstrad PC-2386, which is a fantastic looking machine. I'd love to own one again, but I don't think I can get obsessed with chasing one because they're quite hard to come by. If one happens to come up, I'll put a side note. What I'm going to put in here instead is I'm going to put in here a DOS slash 3. So Windows 3.1. Let's put it in as Win 3.1 PC. I think that's the most sensible thing, to set up a system that is right for that era rather than chase the Amstrad. And to be honest, we need a column for notes, don't we? So notes was Amstrad PC-2386DX. Fantastic looking machine. Seriously, Google it. I'll put a link in the description as to what they look like. Was Amstrad PC-2386 DX, which it was. I then also had an IBM 486 SX25. Oh, this was called a 65, by the way, dash 65, which is the size of the hard drive. So there's a 4 meg RAM, 65 meg hard disk. So I had but to be honest, if I was going to build the choice PC, and it was only because I couldn't afford one back then, would of course be a 486 DX66. I think that's the probably the more sensible build to aim for, to be really happy with playing any game from that period. That would, and throw, it's in the wrong column, wrong row. Okay. Happy with me? Good. Yeah, that's probably more sensible. But if I do get hold of it, oh, beautiful machine. Quite reminiscent of the Amiga in some ways, in terms of just, yeah, look at it. So that's that. DOS, Windows 3.1 PC. And then it was into the Pentium era. Now we've covered that, so I'm just going to call this Pentium era. I'm going to call this Win 95 / Win 98 PC. I think that's the best thing of that. Yes, I've purchased one. Yes, it's working for the most part. Price, well, the PC itself was a bargain, thanks to Matt Manx, $50. And so in there, Activa, IBM, oh no, that's probably IBM, Activa, AMD, K6, K6 just 450, and what a beast of a machine. Fantastic, fantastic machine. Could have only dreamed about that when I had my slot 1 build, but it does need a better graphics card and a few other things to troubleshoot. But for the most part, it's working fine. I think that covers us, doesn't it? That certainly covers the PCs that I had. I've already got a Pentium 4, so we'll call that XP. Yes, we got one. Is it working? Yes, it is. Sometimes refuses to boot, but if you're persistent. Didn't cost me a thing, so that's fantastic. And that's the Pentium 4, which is great. Those are the machines. So this next list is sort of a side list, but it's still relevant because some of these overlap in terms of the periods, and I might do some sorting to try and work out where they actually were purchased. But other systems I've had, and I wasn't going to go down this deep down the rabbit hole, but look, over time, and I'm in this for the long haul, we'll just see how many boxes get ticked. And some of these I'll only pick up if I see one as a bargain. How does that sound? So I have had, yep, okay. So I've had a SNES, probably the first console I bought after the video pack. So that's a long gap. So we had a SNES. After the SNES, I had a Jaguar. Oh, these have really jumped up in price. So that's going to be a bit of a biggie. I did miss out on one last year, but I didn't want to sully the Amiga experience with then also having a Jaguar to play with. Funny mentality goes on in my head. So Atari Jaguar, that's a biggie. N64. Had one of those. Didn't have a PlayStation 1. Did have a PlayStation 2. And I had that. No, I'm not going to tell the story. Oh, we just call it PS2. So I've had a PS2. I've had a PS3. Not really fussed about that. Anything beyond that I don't really think fits into this list because I've still got the PS4. I've had an Xbox 360 and we still have one. But let's put it there anyway. Repurchased, yes, because this is the second one I had. It's not mine, it's the boys, but look, it's there to use. Yes, it's working. It was full price, so I don't know what that was. What was it? $350? Or I think at the time we got that might have been down to $250. I can't remember. Let's say $250 on the repurchase one. So that's fine. Xbox 360, and we've got a Wii, which is a family thing as well. That's working. And to me, that's never really been decommissioned. It's always just been running. I can't remember what they cost. I think it was like $200 or something, wasn't it? They weren't overpriced at all. So there we go. I don't want to go into the PS4 because that's still current and all of that. So I think that's it. I think that's how the list sits. Now, there's a couple here that I'm going to put a note by, and I almost call these bookends, okay? So I'm going to put not owned. But if I can grab one at a bargain, they still have a bit of a memory for me. In fact, there might be 3. We shall see. And the first one is sort of the first machine that I really played with at several friends' houses, and even our school had one of these, believe it or not. And that is in fact, let's call it this. The 48K Spectrum with the rubber keyboard. Lots of memories attached to those. So that would be nice. I didn't own a PS1 like the original. But my nephew did, and he lived with us at the time. So a lot of gaming on that. So not really fussed if I don't get one, but if one happens to come up at a bargain price, yeah, why not, you know? And now the other one that I have to put here, because I've only really been learning about how good they are recently, and that's an Amiga 1200. I dismissed them back in the day. Won't tell you too much about my emotion there, but it's something I've learned only recently about how awesome they are, and how potentially that would have made a better choice than jumping into a 386DX. Maybe, maybe not. Be an interesting comparison to do. So that's why that's there. So I don't want to drag this out too much longer. How long have we been going for? I can't find it. 22 minutes. Okay, so that's it. That's too long for looking at a spreadsheet. So what do you reckon? That's how I'm sitting. That's how the pocket money works. It's in the red. It's not in the red. I thought I'd fix that. Let's put that back to $5. It may go in the red soon. We shall see. There's another +3 on eBay. Anyway, so there we go. All right. Thank you, guys. Thanks, guys, for watching. Now, as said, clicking on things that I shouldn't. Go to Amigathon. Go now. All right. Cheers, guys.